Winston Churchill's mother, Jenny Jerome, was an American, and Churchill was always proud of his American heritage, particularly proud of the fact that one of his mother's ancestors was an American Indian. He made many visits to the United States, the first when he was 20 in 1895, and the last in 1960. Churchill's relationship with the United States was a remarkable one. He didn't share a widespread British anti-American feeling. He often found himself at odds in the British political establishment for his support of the United States. At the same time, when he was in power, when he was in political office, when he was involved in British government, and particularly in the First and Second World Wars, he found himself in deep disputes with the United States. But he always made it a rule to remember that Britain and the United States had so much in common that it would be absurd to allow their differences to divide them seriously. And so, in whatever station he was in British public life, including as Prime Minister, he worked to strengthen the bonds between Britain and the United States and to smooth over the difficulties and to prevent outbursts of anti-Americanism from clouding the relationship between the two countries. His own vexations, which he kept very much to himself, and those of his colleagues, which he sought constantly to curb. In this book, I've told the story of how Churchill and the United States worked together. He worked with many presidents. He worked with many administrations. And he recognized that without the power of the United States in both world wars, in the First World War and the Second World War, there was no way that Britain could prevail. Britain could continue at war. Britain could survive. But to actually defeat the enemy, the United States aid was essential. The centrality of the United States was something Churchill always understood. And when, at the very end of his political career, in 1955, as he was about to leave the premiership for the second time, his advice to his colleagues was, never be separated from the Americans. This book follows his relationship with America from 1895 until 1960. And it is, I think, a remarkable example of how someone can overcome many doubts, disagreements, and difficulties in order to maintain a friendship vital for the survival and strength of Britain.